hired someone to put up tags, or you didn't use the call center, or you didn't target correctly, or you put them all in one direct area where everybody could see it. Like, it's always worked. Always. You got to be willing to change data providers sometimes. You got to be willing to change, what you're doing, switch it up. There has never in the history of marketing for real estate been something that so effectively gets you an appointment every single week. I mean, let's be brutally honest for all of you, okay? I'm going to be brutally honest for all of you. Take it for what it's worth and you can complain later. This is your accountability for today. Before you met this program, you could not predict on a weekly basis when you were going to have an appointment with somebody who was in a position to sell their home, period, unless it was a referral. Is that strong, Josh? David's not here to stop me. He's probably with the grandkids in Florida. But that's the reality. And I don't even care if you're, unless you're somebody who's just killing it. I mean, literally killing it before you join the program. But the reality for the both of you, you could not predict one appointment beyond those that were referrals. And now at your disposal, all you got to go do is put up an hour's worth of tags, and you're going to have an appointment that week? Yeah, I admit they're not all going to convert. But guess what? Door knocking, cold calling, and mailers aren't going to produce anyway either. They're just not. And it's really shitty out there to get a listing right now. I can safely tell you that every time I do a webinar, I have 20 to 30 people on those webinars every single day. Agents are desperately looking for anything. If I changed up the monster right now and changed it to expireds, I'd probably have a blowout sales of monsters. Probably. But I don't want to come off my message of distress right now because the market's shifting. The market is going to pop. I think that there has been a dynamic shift in the market with the FBI thing, and I think that Trump has a very strong chance of winning this election. And I can tell you this, as we are all sitting here now and I'm recording it, November the 2nd, this might be a podcast just so I can put it all out there. Understand when I say this. If Trump wins that election, the very next day the Fed's going to raise the interest rate by 1 full point. Guarantee it. It will happen within 30 days that he goes into office. And that's not crazy talk. That's true reality. They're going to put a freeze on everything. And yes, I do believe it's changed, Richard. I do believe that the election's changed dramatically. That's the truth. So if there are 1 million agents looking for listings, I keep going back to it. Okay, go run a search and see how many properties are bank-owned. That means a bank is in the name on the title. There are 450,000 properties that are bank-owned that will never see your actual inventory, like general real estate population inventory. That's a staggering thought. It is a perspective that I can't even mentally wrap my brain around. So if we're getting 500,000 properties a year or so, where it's a constant figure of 500,000 properties, right? It doesn't seem to change. It's a very static number for some reason. There's 500,000 people in default. There's 500,000 people in foreclosure. How long do you think it's going to take, especially if they raise the interest rate and nobody wants to buy anymore, prices start to come down, and people who bought this year because the market was so great and they were taking advantage of that zero interest rate, we're underwater again. And that's a cascading effect. I don't think it's going to take a lot at all to do negative things to this market, to the current market. So I will tell you what I think. I think that specifically in the current market, you need to work a niche. I think you need to be the master of your niche and in your market. And I'll cover a couple of the questions that are asked here, right? Which is Bob's question. How do I set up clearhelp.org? Okay, let's start from the basics. You're an individual. You want 1 or 2 listings per month, right? Start from the very beginning, Bob, and everybody else. What is your daily run? What is your daily format? You've got to spend, I'm not asking you to spend 8 hours doing your job. Nobody got into real estate to work for 8 hours, okay? I'm asking you to spend 1 hour of marketing time, period. Period, 1 hour. Everybody gets hung up about what's on ClearHelp or not on ClearHelp. It's nothing more, nothing less. Set up a Facebook page, set up a Twitter account with the name of your city and the word advocate either in front of it or behind it. Point it at ClearHelp as their website. Done. Don't overcomplicate it. I'm just saying when people look you up, point them at that. Point them at your Twitter account. Point them at your Facebook account. Okay? I'm saying if you're going to run a Facebook page called, Advocate Covina or Covina Advocate, right? Whatever. Let's go with the basic city that I'm always trying to plumb. Right, Bob? It's got a link on that page. It goes to ClearHelp. I've got the ClearHelp logo on that page. Right. No, they won't see you on the ClearHelp website. The point is to tie your social media to it. And you can certainly call you a ClearHelp advocate. There's a simple reason why you're not listed on the website, and it has to do with inactivity, and there are too many people freelancing and screwing it up for everybody else, Barbara. I mean, that's the bottom line. I have to work in complete generics. I would be happy to give you guys the opportunity to put your names on the website, but the reality is I have to work in very generic, general ways because I have too many currently freelancing. They were. Originally, they were. I had it all up. I had posted them all. There were duplicates. I'm trying not to have a migraine over it, but let's just say that I spent literally close to $1,000 on that project, which was completely wasted money. I realize that's the sale of only one monster, but I tend to only sell a limited number every single month. I don't, let me help you out. There are 4 different data providers who are aware of me. If I gave them the opportunity to sell the monster to their clientele, I would quadruple the number of students that I have by, giving them a piece of the action. That would not be good for you. It would not be good for the product because it wouldn't be top well. You guys were all brought in on a very specific webinar that I've created that basically explains how the process is. I don't want people brought in under false pretense. This is a very specific marketing tool to get you very specific appointments. And I'm okay with very specific appointments. So my question would be, what are you doing with your hour every day? Are you tagging? Are you following up? Are you adding something to the web? This is just as an individual. Now back to Richard's point. If I'm the guy doing it, guess what, Richard? I'm going to do it all day. Every time I think of something, I'm going to tag. On Twitter, I'm constantly reposting, right? I'm constantly creating a larger base for myself. I am completely fascinated on Twitter when I am followed by mayors who don't follow anybody, or celebrities, or newscasters, or verified individuals who don't seem to follow anybody, but they're following me. I don't understand the phenomena of how Facebook works or how these people decide that whatever I'm putting out is something worthwhile for them, if that makes any sense. My dedicated door person, their job is to go and meet with people, to go and call people, and to continue the relationship, which goes back to our initial question of from the very beginning, right? Which was, what do I do about people at the front door? You hold their hand. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, to get a listing, it is about holding a hand and telling them they're not, and just constantly reassuring them that they're not going to get the listing. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But that's kind of one of those weird reality things. And then you need somebody confident in the paperwork. Some of you can do it with a transaction coordinator. A good TC can handle all your paperwork. If they happen to be a realtor as well, just that much more fantastic. I don't think you guys should be handling your paperwork. I think you should focus on either being the people person or the marketing person, if you can help it. Getting a TC who gets paid on the close of transactions is the way to go, by far. how you all don't have TCs is astonishing and phenomenal to me. I mean, that's the truth. If you have the budget, having a dedicated marketing person who's going to be in the business of making sure you have leads or that your leads are followed up with, if it's in your budget, it's a must. And then you are the people person. You're the one meeting people at the front door. And if you look at David's model, David's just the guy at the front door. David's the guy meeting face to face. That's his only function. He subbed out everything else. That's good automation. That was a long rant. Let's go back to questions. How was that, Josh? You may grade that. Gene, I don't know if they're at the call center, but send an email to therealdianao@gmail.com. I may do a webinar tomorrow based on probates and expires just for shits and giggles, as they say, just to see what the market looks like. But I'm pretty sure agents are desperate right now. Gloria, you didn't answer my question from last week. My question was, yeah, I did answer it last week, Gloria. I answered it on the call, to be precise. The question is there a best day of the week to tag homes to get the best response? Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. That gap. Answer bombs, saw that. License, I was wondering if anyone is getting listings every week with tagging. What exactly are they doing to get it? That's a very good question. The person who's generating the most consistent, that's willing to talk about it, here's the truth, License. If you tapped into the code, I'm going to ask you a really honest question, okay? You guys can raise your hand or not raise your hand or do whatever you want to do. This will be a very good question about the honesty of the group. Okay, ready? It refers to a widget area because I haven't added widgets to it, Bob. Do you think that's going to make a difference? If I Google your name right now, Bob, am I going to find anything about helping homeowners? Hold on, I'll get back to you in a second. I really hate it when people tell me that that website's not up. I didn't ever guarantee it. I added it as a bonus, Bob, and I'm trying not to be pissy about it, but I really am on some level. The reality is you guys will take whatever I give. The only thing I ever promised was to get to a face-to-face appointment. I created a program to help get you a listing, and I gave you tools. So the question is, Bob, would you like me to Google you right now and see what you have listed to show me that you're a realtor? Do you think that that would be effective? If you don't know what a widget is, then let me help you out. I don't think they're going to know what a widget is either. It's an empty spot because there are no widgets at the bottom of the page. I have done nothing with the page other than create basically advertising. I had some guy write me an email and explain to me that the website wasn't done. I'm assuming that I'm hoping it's not you. I've never really gone back and looked at it. I deleted it. But the truth is, it's got enough pages. It's got enough data. The truth is, the website has nothing to do with you getting a listing. I can tell you that, bottom line. I watched Randy Kishore walk into Orange County, never knowing one thing about the area, and in 3 weeks got 3 listings and $75,000 in commission. His problem, now I'll go back to Blythe. Interesting that nobody's responding to that statement. So I'll go back to my question, Blythe, which is simply this, right? Here's what I know about real estate agents, and I can't believe I'm recording this, which will probably make this not a podcast. I love creating marketing for you guys. I love creating opportunities for you. It validates the work that I do as a marketer, and I see it as an art form. I've studied the psychology of it. I've now dedicated 10 years to this, of understanding psychology and mindset of homeowners and buyers. And I can tell you this, there's nobody who has spent the same amount of time that I have on trying to understand in literally graphic and finite detail a buyer's reaction, expired, cancel, probate, divorce, or any